Welcome to the next episode of Decants with D. I am your host this afternoon. I am Dietmar Ostermann, and I'm the regular guy from Long Island. This episode brings us back to Tuscany, southern Tuscany. Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, the third of the big Tuscan wines. In prior episodes, we discussed Chianti and we discussed the famous Brunello di Montalcino. But we haven't discussed yet Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. Vino Nobile di Montepulciano is similar to a Chianti, also similar to a Brunello. It is mostly made out of the Sangiovese grape, just like a Chianti. More than 70% must be Sangiovese. But the town of Montepulciano is south of Siena. And south of the Chianti region. So it's not as hilly there. It's further down in the valley, and that makes it quite a bit warmer and hotter in southern Tuscany. So these wines, unlike the Chianti, are more full body and they are higher in alcohol. But they haven't aged as long as a Brunello. The Brunellos are aging 4 or 5 years, whereas the Vino Nobiles age typically 2 years and the Riservas for 3 years. 2015 and 2016 were outstanding years in Tuscany, and accordingly I am tasting here some Vino Nobiles from 2015. You can almost make nothing wrong by buying Vino Nobiles out of 2015 and 2016. The other good thing about a Vino Nobile via a Brunello is it costs about half the price. Most of the regular Vino Nobiles are available for $20 or $25. The Riservas for $35 or $40. So let's get into them. I'm starting off with number one, the Salcheto, and this is a 2015 Riserva. So this has spent 3 years aging. Let's pop this baby open, and fittingly, I have my Italian masterpiece of equipment that I bought at the Barolo Museum in Piedmont, and I'm using it on this beautiful Vino Nobile. The Salcheto was rated 94 points by Wine Spectator. It cost about $36 as a Riserva and $24 as a regular. Beautiful wine. Because the Vino Nobile haven't aged as long as a Brunello, I typically do not decant them, just like I typically don't necessarily think that a Chianti needs to be decanted. But there's nothing wrong with decanting them. All Sangiovese wines typically benefit from decanting quite a bit. So the color is in between ruby and garnet. I would say a medium garnet. I can see the stem in the glass. And by the way, I have new Wine Enthusiast glassware here. I like this quite a bit. It has a little bit of an overhang in the bottom of the glass. Looks quite cool. So that's the color. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Black sour cherry, pronounced in the nose. A little bit of plum in here as well. I think there's potentially some green tomato leaf in here as well. Some wild herbs. Some minerality, potentially iron. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, it's a dry wine. It's medium acidity. It is medium minus in tannins. It's a medium plus in body. And on the tongue, it has more of the minerality, but it also has more of the cherry flavors. I like it quite a bit. I give this wine a 4.3. That was contestant number 1. Contestant number 2, La Braccesca, the Santa Pia Riserva, also a 2015. This wine is a Wine Spectator 91, 92 for the Riserva and the regular. Regular is $25, the Riserva is $40. You can see my cork owl is on vacation. I'm piling up the corks. They will have to deposit it later when the cork owl is back. The color, medium garnet, pretty much the same color we had before. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. More oak in the nose. Black cherry here as well, a little bit of blackberry. Earthy characters, forest floor. Also a little bit of minerality. A beautiful Tuscan wine. Let's give it a whirl. Very interesting. I think I like this a tick better. It is very dry. The acidity is medium. The tannins medium minus. It is a full-bodied wine. Fruit forward in the palate. Mostly cherry, a little bit of blackberry. Great wine. I give it a 4.4. Contestant number 3. This is no stranger to most people, the Leone d'Oro. Also a 2015. The Leone d'Oro is a James Suckling 94 rated wine. Vino has it at 3.8 for the 2015. The color is see-through, medium garnet, a little bit with a touch into ruby. Beautiful color, more crystal shiny than the other 2 wines. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. More dark cherry, pronounced fruit, a little bit of plum in here as well, tobacco, a note of horse saddle leather in here. Let's give it a whirl. Beautiful, well-rounded. That's a beautiful wine. It is just very, very even-keeled. It has sparkling cherry on the tongue. The tobacco and leather that I had in the nose doesn't come out as much on the palate. It's an easy drinking wine. I like this actually the best. I give this wine a 4.5, ladies and gentlemen. And this wine sells for $22.50. So this is my winner for today. The Leone d'Oro 2015 Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, with a second place to a very, very good rating to the Santa Pia Riserva. That's it for today from Long Island, the third of the major Tuscan wines, established as a DOCG in 1980. Mostly Sangiovese, over 70%, a South Tuscan highlight. I see you next Sunday.